Bonjour, my name is Sabrina, and this is a demo class of the first class of teaching French. So, I'm gonna start. Donc, bonjour à toutes et à tous et bienvenue à notre premier cours de français. I would start by presenting myself. My name is Sabrina. I'm gonna be the one guiding you through this beautiful, bit complex, but worth it journey. I am so excited to meet you all, and I'm so excited to welcome you at this first class. So before we start and go into anything else, I would really love to know your motivation. Why are you here? What made you think of French? Like, why do you want to learn French? So if you may please type in the chat, what are your motivations and why you exactly are here? Okay, so I can see from the chat that a lot of people are typing immigration purposes. It's mainly for immigration purposes. Okay, I can see career. Um, I can see a Francophone country. So, yep, I just want to make sure that yes, you guys are correct and you are in the exact right place for that. So, there is a quick something that I have to mention. This course, we will be moving fast, okay? So we're gonna move in a fast pace. So I'm gonna count on you partially on your hard work and efforts. So yes, we will start with clear grammar foundation because it's the base of everything, and then real exam strategies and a lot of speaking practices. Okay, so and because of this course is designed with a really specific goal in mind, which is to help you exactly achieve or reach your immigration targets. And especially if you are someone who is preparing, and I insist for the TF or the TCF exam, this course will train you with the techniques, with the speed and structure required to succeed. Yes, we're gonna learn the language, but when it comes to these exams, and as someone who personally went through it, it also requires learning the strategy and the exam skills. So don't worry, we're gonna focus on that too. But yeah, again, for also the people who only are here to improve their French, because let's face it, it is a beautiful language. You will benefit greatly from the course because it covers everything. Okay. Um, as I said, okay, so in this course, we will be moving fast because we want results, and we also have kind of a limited period of time, but that's only going to push you better to do better always. I will be guiding you through every step, and that's something that I want to insist on. You will be receiving personalized tips, and that's what I find the most interesting and characteristic of our course. You will have me as your guide. You can contact me at any time. I'm gonna give you personalized tips. I'm gonna give you corrections. I'm gonna give you feedbacks um according to your doing. Okay, so um to sum it all, if you are someone who is preparing for the exam, or just someone who wants really to learn this beautiful language, you're here, you are in the right place. Okay, so we have to move quick for the course description. This course is gonna start with the grammar, the foundation, of course, the basic of any other language. We will begin with it. We will study the foundation of everything. Don't worry, we will always try to keep it fun. We will always try to keep it interactive. So no boring textbook examples. As a student, I am a student myself, and I can understand how the course can be really dull and boring. So that's the part I'm gonna count on you too. I'm gonna count on your participation. So we try to keep it like engaging, not just you observing and listening, because after all, it is a language and it is not meant to be memorized. It is meant to be spoken. Okay, it is okay to make mistakes. It is a safe place, a safe space. We are here to learn. We all have been there. It wasn't easy. We made it. It's fine. So, as I said, we're going to start slowly at first. We'll try to warm up a bit, and then we will gradually increase the pace because, as I said, we want results, and we're going to get, and actually you're going to notice that we're going to get into making, from like the second class, we're going to be able to make simple French sentences and even simple paragraphs, okay? So once we are able to build a simple sentence, that's when we're gonna shift our attention to listening exercises, because the pronunciation is really important. Speaking drills and even role plays, just to strengthen our understanding and pronunciation. And okay, this is the part I am really excited about. So we will be using creative brain stretching methods to help us form sentences faster. These techniques usually go beyond just repetition, you know. We will be using images, we will be using quick associations and smart challenges to push our limits, okay? And once our base is strong, we're gonna shift our attention to exam preparation. And this is an important part. We're gonna focus on the techniques, the timing especially, because the timing is the crucial thing when it comes to this type of exams, and the speaking strategies, okay, for the TEF and the TCF exam. And here is the special thing I told you about. So during the week, you can send me your voice messages, you can send me your records, you can send me your writing samples. I am here, even if something is not clear, even if we have like gone through it in the class, even if we covered it and it is still not understandable for you, please feel free to contact me at any time after class hours. It does not matter. I'm gonna be there for you and help you, because we have one single goal in our mind, which is for us to all succeed, okay, in this language. So don't worry, I'm gonna be here for you at any time. All right, enough with the introduction. Let's move and start our session. And of course, as any other language, we have to start with the alphabet, okay? Let's start our journey with the alphabet. And yes, if you can see from the first glance, you can say that the French alphabet does look like the English alphabet. Yes, and it does. And yes, they have the same 26 letters as English, but I promise you, it's totally different. And what is different about it is the pronunciation, because the French letters, and I guess that's not something surprising for you, I guess. It is really, really different from the English pronunciation, okay? So we're gonna start. I'm gonna say the letter, English, and then in French, pronunciation, and I encourage you to please repeat after me, because you have to practice your pronunciation, okay? So we start with the first letter, A. It is pronounced A. A. It's just like A, and it comes from here, okay? So A, as in avion, avion, which means airplane, okay? The second letter is B, the B. It is pronounced B, B, like A, B. And you are going actually to recognize the pattern when it comes to the French letters. Most of them, they end with this A pronunciation, B, like banane, banane, which means banana. The third letter is C, C. As I said, it ends with A, C, C, as in chat. And you can actually tell that I'm a big fan of cats from my intro. So chat, C. D is pronounced D. D, again with the E. D, as in drapeau. And drapeau, it's a flag, okay? Drapeau. This is our first confusing letter. So the E is pronounced E. E. You see how my lips are tightened up like E. E. In French, we don't pronounce the E, we pronounce it E, okay? Like école. And well, école isn't like the best example in this case because when the E or E has l'accent, the accent, it is pronounced E differently, but still. École, we can see how école ends with an E, and yeah, I don't want to spoiler, I don't want to spoil, but usually we do not pronounce the last letter when it comes to French words. Okay, so E is pronounced E, E, F is pronounced F, it's the same. J is pronounced G, again with the E, G, like gare, gare, and we're gonna see this later. We're gonna learn a lot of vocabulary, okay, French vocabulary. It means station, and one of my favorite letters, the H, which is pronounced H. H, it's not H. It doesn't have the T, H in English. It is pronounced H. Ash. And you may wonder why I am telling you that it is my favorite letter or one of my favorites. It is because it is always silent when it comes to French words. As you can see in here, where is the, okay, as you can see in here, hotel, we pronounce it hotel in English. You can see that we are pronouncing the H, but in French we say hotel, an hotel. We do not pronounce the H. We completely ignore it. We pass into the second letter. We pronounce it hotel. So yeah, I'm gonna say those letters in French again. I want you to hear me clearly. And after that, I'm gonna be testing your skills in this first part of the alphabet. And we're gonna play like a quick fun game. Okay, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, so as I said, let's play a little game. And I'm going to be saying the French letter. And you please type in the chat which letter in English I mean. Okay, so for an example, if I say C, which letter is C? Okay, très bien. If I say, for an example, H, which letter is H? And if I say E, which letter is E? Great job, everyone. Bravo. Très bien. Thank you so much for your participation. Okay, now I guess we are ready to pass it to the second part of our alphabet. And yes, great job on A to H. Let's move to I to P and also learn something special about vowels in French that usually blows people's minds, okay? So again, the same method. I'm gonna start saying the letter in English and then say the letter in French. And again, I want you to repeat after me. And after that, we're gonna do the same quick game to strengthen our alphabet knowledge. Okay, so yes, now the I is pronounced I. I. Like une idée. Une idée. The J is pronounced, it is pronounced J, like jouer. J, like jouer. The K is pronounced K, just like that. K is pronounced K, K, K. The L is pronounced L, the same. L. The M is pronounced M. The N is pronounced N, the same. The O is pronounced O. So O, it is pronounced O, as in un objet, un objet. The P is pronounced P, P, again with the A. So it's pronounced P, as in pour, which means for in French, for, okay. So, okay, before we pass into our little game, let me again show you something really special when it comes to the French vowels, okay? So, as we know, in English, we have 5 vowels, okay? Which are the A, E, I, O, and U. These are the 5 English vowels we have. In French, on the other hand, we have the same 5 vowels as English, but one extra vowel, which is the Y. The Y, so they become 6, the same 5 as English, the Y, and one letter that acts like a vowel, which is the H. H. So they become 7. 5, A, E, I, O, U, the same as English. Y, the letter Y, which we call Y, and a letter that acts like a vowel, which is the H or H. Okay, so yes, the pronunciation is also important, and knowing this stuff is really important because when it comes to the exams, for an example, they gonna test you by asking you to spell a word or a name or something, and it's really important to pay attention to these. So as I said before, the H is usually silent, yes, and it affects how the words are linked. If we go back to our first example here, for an example, where is it? Yes. Hotel, as we said, the H is silent, but for an example, if we add the L, which is the equivalent of the in French, we pronounce l'hôtel, l'hôtel, l'hôtel. And for that, we say that the H uh, affects how the words are linked and pronounced. But don't worry, we're going to see that in the next courses, okay? So, okay, quick game to strengthen our understanding and memorizing skills, okay? If I say the letter I, I'm sorry, I spoiled that one. If I say the letter P, which letter do I mean? If I say the letter, let's say P, no, I just said P. Let's say the letter E. Okay, sorry. So I had to pause for a moment. So yes, again, if I said the letter E, which letter do I mean? E. Okay, last one. If I said letter O, O. Okay, très bien. Thank you so much. One last question, okay? Don't cheat. So, what are the 6 vowels in French? Let me switch this one. So it's okay to make mistakes, but let's try and memorize those, okay? So what are the 6 vowels in French? So as I said, 5 same vowels as English and 1 extra vowel. Okay, très bien. So it's A, E, I, O, U, Y. And which letter is usually silent but also acts like a vowel? The H. Okay, très bien. Thank you so much. I can see that you guys are catching up. Okay, bravo. Okay, now let's tackle the last part of the alphabet. Q to Z, okay? And also I'm gonna reveal why French people usually love to ignore the last letter of the words, okay? Just let's focus on the last part of the alphabet. So we have, again, please repeat after me, okay? I'm gonna pronounce them in English first and then in French, okay? So when we say the letter Q, we say Q. Q. You can feel it here. Q. Q. It's a bit tricky, yes. Like une queue. Une queue. We have the most French letter, the R, which is pronounced R. 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 It comes here, and actually it kind of hurts though. Un rat. Un rat, par exemple. A rat. R. S is pronounced S. Une souris. S. We have the T is pronounced T. Again, A, T. As in un téléphone. Téléphone. We have the U, which is pronounced U. U. Yes, it is tricky. So you just tighten your lips, okay? Like you are about to whistle. And you say U, as in unir. Unir. Can you say this letter after me, please? U, as in unir. Très bien. Yes, it is a bit tricky, but we're gonna get used to it with time, okay? So we have the V is pronounced V, as in voir. We have the W, which is pronounced W, which is literally translates to double V, so W. As in un wagon, par exemple. Un wagon. We have the letter X, which is pronounced X. 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 And we have the letter Y, which, as I said, it is pronounced Y. It's like Grec, like Greek, Y. And yes, it's a long name for one letter. So Y. Y. Un yaourt. Un yaourt, par exemple. It is usually pronounced like ya or something like that. And the last one is the Z, which is pronounced Z. Z. If you're familiar with the British English, it's the same. So Z. Z as in zèbre. Zèbre. So yeah, if here is my advice to you. The French letters are dramatic, so try to feel them. The R, for an example, you can feel it in the throat, okay? Okay, so it is a game changing for speaking French naturally, okay? So in most cases, and they say it, in most cases, the last letter of French words is silent. We do not pronounce it, okay? A restaurant, for example, in French, we say un restaurant. Restaurant. And even though the word ends with the T, we do not pronounce the T. Okay. We have here the example of téléphone. Téléphone. You can see that we do not pronounce the S at the end, even though it exists. Ticket. Ticket. Again, we are not pronouncing the T at the end, even though it exists, okay? So in French, keep it in mind, we usually do not pronounce the last letter of the words. Sauf, there is an exception, and we're gonna see that the French language has a lot of exceptions. They love exceptions, okay? Sauf, except if the word ends with one of these letters, which are C, F, L, and R, and the vowels. So if a word ends with a vowel, and because they are the ones that judge how we pronounce the words. And if the word ends with one of these four letters, we pronounce those last letters. But if a word ends with any other letter rather than these two exceptions, vowels and these four letters, we do not pronounce the word, okay? Keep it simple. If the word ends with one of the vowels or one of these four exceptions, we pronounce the last letter. But if it doesn't, we do not pronounce the last letter. For an example, acteur, acteur, we are pronouncing the R because the R is one of the exceptional letters. And here, I found this hack. I found this trick to memorize these exceptional letters. So we are all like collecting them in one word, which is careful. Careful, C-R-F-L. The exceptional letters we pronounce if they are at the end of a word. So yeah, what I like to say is if you're in doubt, just be careful. C-R-F-L might speak, but everything else is silent. Okay, so no, before we pass to our next part, let me ask you something. Again, which final letters do we usually pronounce in French? Can you please type them in the chat? Okay, yes, cool. Yes, it is a C-R-F-L. Careful. Okay, très bien. Okay, now, quick, true or false? If I type, for an example, and let me do this. If I say chocolate, where is the chat? If I say chocolate, quick thinking, is the T silent or not? True or false? Très bien. True, it is silent. Okay. Ok, très bien. Acteur, acteur, acteur. We do pronounce the R, right? Acteur. Très bien. Ok, très bien. Ok, perfect. We finish with this part. We pass, we go to, so yes, we did master the 26 letters of French and our secret weapon to the silent letter rule. Now, let's move to specific vowel combinations, okay? So these are the sounds that come up all the time, and as this name says, it is a vowel combination. And they affect how we pronounce the words. And yes, they are very, very, very different from English, okay? So for an example, we have this, our first vowel combination, which is the O and U. So O-U, which is pronounced U. So whenever O-U is present in a word and they are combined together, we pronounce them U, as in vous. And yes, it is a deep and rounded sound. Can you please say after me, ou? Très bien, merci. Donc, the next one we have A, I, A, I. And this combination is pronounced E, as in faire, E, as in faire, faire. Can you say faire? Très bien, merci. Okay, the next one, it is a bit tricky because it is really similar as the first one. It's A, but as when we say neige, A, neige, and yes, as a beginner, you cannot notice the difference, but you can actually tell when you pronounce the word. For example, we have faire and we have neige. One is up, one is down. Faire, neige. You see? That's the difference. And it's fine if you cannot hear the difference for now, okay? Take it easy. Sorry, so our fourth combination is U, E, UI, and it is pronounced usually oui, as in huit, par exemple, huit, which means 8. So we pronounce it oui. Can you say oui? Oui, as in yes. We have the last vowel combination because it's also only vowels that are combined with each other. O, I, or OI, it is pronounced wa. Wa, as in roi. It is a soft and rounded combination. Roi, wa. And we're gonna actually these, and I really insist on memorizing these vowel combinations because we're gonna move really soon to some vocabulary, French vocabulary, and we have to learn these combinations because that's how we're going to pronounce these words. Okay, so the pronunciation of the words depends on these vowel combinations and letter combinations, which we are moving to right away. Okay, so and yes, again, those combinations are really important, especially when it comes to like the TF, TCF exams. Okay, so but don't worry, we're gonna master them, especially with time, and they're gonna come to you automatically at certain point. Okay, so let's yes, exactly, we have seen vowel combinations. Now let's see letter combinations. Okay, and some nasal sounds. We have our first combination, which is T-E-O-N, and it is pronounced Sion. Sion. It is not like English, because in English we pronounce it Chion, as in, not Chion, sorry, it's like, for an example, this word is pronounced nation. Shin, exactly, nation. It is really hard to switch languages very fast. So nation, but in French, we pronounce it Sion. So this word becomes nation, which means nation, exactly. Nation, action. So always remember, T-E-O-N, it's not shin anymore, it's Sion. Okay? We have the second one, which is the GN. It is pronounced something like nier. Nier, as in agneau, les agneaux, les agneaux. Okay, so les agneaux. Nier, nier. And it is a nasal sound because when you pronounce it, you can actually feel it here from your nose. That's why we say it. We say nasal sounds. We have these, and these are very important too. Not very important, but very common. That's what I want to say. So en, for example, it is pronounced on. So when you see en or en next to each other, you pronounce it on, as in vent, 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 which means I always forget this word. Wind, yes, wind. Or umm, they are pronounced a, as in parfum, parfum. And again, those are nasal sounds because you can feel them here. Fin, parfum, like un. So un, okay? We have un, en. They are pronounced un, two, un, say, same as these ones. So they're pronounced un, as in brun, or invité, invité, invité. So when you see these combination, it is pronounced un, okay? une, on the other hand, it is pronounced une, like lune, la lune, like moon, and we're gonna see those again, so don't worry. We have the on combination with it, which is pronounced on, on. It is nasal, on, as in bon, which means good, on, okay? Or on, as in bonne, on, as in bonne. And we have A-N, E-N, which are pronounced en, as in enfant, enfant, les enfants. And yes, again, it is a nasal sound because it comes from here, okay? A-N-N-E, it is pronounced Anne, Anne, this Anne, let's say it's a name, Anne, voila. Any questions till now? And yes, you feel free, please, to ask me questions and to stop me if anything isn't clear at any moment. But I'm sure the class is going to be really, really interactive all the time and they're going to be raising their hands and everything. So, okay, last point for today, for this demo class at least. Yes, so we have a really, really, really special hack when it comes to verbs. So when a verb ends with ENT, any verb that ends with ENT, this ENT at the end is silent. We do not pronounce it, okay? So when you see verbs ending with ENT, like parle, mange, finisse, you can clearly see that the ENT is silent and we do not pronounce it, okay? So, il parle, elle mange, etc. We do not pronounce it. Okay, so as we have seen the alphabet, we have seen some tricks, we have seen the vowels, we have seen the silent letter rule, we have seen the combinations, letter combinations, vowel combinations, and we have seen the secret weapon when it comes to ENT at the end of the verbs. We're gonna stop here for this class. So thank you so much for your attention, and it's much fun when there are people, so they keep the class engaging and not boring. Thank you so much. Bonne journée. And let me try and enregistrer ça. Thank you. Bye bye.